We're recording actually. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, sweet. You ready?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you should be. What's up, guys? Episode 50 of the Most Everything Podcast in your ear. Follow me on IG at R_G.
Follow me on IG at Corey Hill 1.
Yep, and if you need to send us your top 5, your general feedback of the show, email us at mosteverythingpodcast@gmail.com or slide in our DMs for business purposes only. First and foremost, shout out to Gotham Podcast Studios for hosting us today. They're located on 100 Church Street in the city. Very professional atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fuck around.
Nope.
So that's always good. But we have a special guest with us today,
Yes,
right?
we do.
Wait, hold on. Before we get into that, what are the platforms they can listen to us on, Corey?
SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher,
Chia,
Anchor, and we have some videos up on YouTube.
We do. We just posted up our top 5 bagels, so I think we got a pretty good reception to it.
We did.
A lot of people got involved, and
I got a DM today, and remember last week? Well, whenever we did it, I said you put that everything bagel on it, it's gonna weigh heavy.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he put that everything bagel. I need it.
So she needed my list.
And we put a list up for people to vote yet.
Yeah.
But we're getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah. So by the time this airs, you guys should hear this maybe Sunday, Monday. So by the time this airs, we already should have a winner. It's probably gonna be me because everything bagel is on there.
It might be.
So we really appreciate everybody who's receptive to it. You know,
visuals really catch people's attention.
It does, and we try to get in people's way for the most part, right? So the saying, hey, build it and they come and they'll come. Sure, that's all good and well, but you got to build and kind of put it in front of people, get in their way for the most part, right? Because you could create the greatest content in the world, but nobody knows it exists. So you got to put it on a platform. You got to send it to them, like what we did. I literally sent that YouTube clip or YouTube link to everybody in my contact in my phone. Like the first 15 or 25 people I've been talking to lately. Me. Yeah, I sent it to everybody.
Yeah,
literally.
Sent it to me.
Hey, you better watch that to get the views up.
I did. I liked it.
Good.
Yeah, I watched it twice.
So
once on my computer, once on my phone.
Right. So I completely forgot how long it takes to edit something.
Oh, boy.
So the video is 7 minutes, right? But with having 2 children, it's not easy. It literally took me maybe a whole 24 hours to actually get the editing done.
Christ, Reese.
I was kind of rusty. I forgot how to edit some stuff. But
no, you did an amazing job.
Hey man, thanks brother. Thanks brother.
You got the logo.
I tried.
You got the top 5.
I try.
You
know
put
it
up on the left and the corners of each other. You put my our social tags on there.
Yeah.
You did a really good job.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
I just try to do things that I want to see in a video, so somebody else could feel the exact same way. So yeah, man. So
my
again,
only issue is that I'm having issues with formatting it for IGTV.
Because IGTV has that weird format, right?
Yeah.
So it's more vertical than horizontal, and it kind of takes away from it. But
and then I have the InShot app, and every time I go to upload the video, the app crashes.
Yeah.
So I just got frustrated and left it alone. So I'm gonna play with it again.
Yeah, man. We really appreciate everyone who clicked it, everyone who replied to it. Shout out to Frank Abney. He's a animator. He worked for Pixar. He's actually making his own animated film called Canvas. He created a Kickstarter for it. I supported it. I pledged about $100 for it. And his goal was 40K. Now it's at 57K. So
nice.
He really surpassed his goal. We don't really see too many black animators, too many black characters, and just in general, just black people in the film world. So for him to be, someone black and creating something pretty much from scratch, what he wants to see is amazing, and I'll always be supportive of that. So shout out to Frank for taking the time to answer it, retweet it, and all that jazz. And shout out to did anybody else send you their top 5 bagels?
No one. I don't think anyone sent me mine.
Shout out. Did Reese send it?
Let me check.
Hold up.
Speaking of, you said that not too many people in the black in the industry.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele said he doesn't foresee in his future him casting a white person as the main.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We have a shit ton of shit to talk about, especially with Jordan Peele and the Us movie and everything. But let's introduce, without any further ado, let's introduce our guest, man.
Yeah. We'll get to the list later.
Yeah, let's introduce our guest.
Today's his birthday.
Yeah.
He's out here living it up.
Yeah.
Big 26?
27.
27.
Yeah.
27. He decided to come on our show.
Yeah.
Look
at him networking across.
Yeah,
Look at
right.
that. Look how that works.
Yeah, right. And to give his spill on what we're gonna talk about today.
Remember, he's a former guest on episode 36.
A former guest. It was a great episode.
Yeah, it was great, man. So
we
shout
was
out
in a different location.
We were. And the audio is probably not as great as it is today.
No, it's not.
But still, we still was able to get the message across. So welcome, Rocko, man. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome and happy birthday.
On your birthday.
Yes.
In a special suit. We're gonna post it up. We're gonna post it up what Rocko is wearing today.
We gotta get a
you
picture
guys should
today.
see it. Yeah, 100%. So what do you call that? I don't want to say samurai outfit. What is the exact name for it?
Like this, well, to get this specific item, I typed in Kung Fu shirt.
And
Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
There is a name for it, but I'm not too sure.
Gotcha.
The pants that I'm wearing are moto pants.
Okay.
Yeah, those biker pants, right?
Yeah. And what I like about these is that the companies, they don't make a lot. So after they saw it, that's it. So if you have a pair,
you're kind of one of one.
Exactly.
Well, one of whatever.
Yeah, and that's my flavor, like through and through. That's why I used to be a big fan of streetwear, because it was like, it's limited. If you got it, you got it. Anybody else don't got it, that's it.
Wow. Got you. But you're missing an accessory. Where's your sword?
Yes, okay.
Although you can't be a black man and walk around with a weapon.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny? I did the research on that, and I found out like with baseball, things like baseball bats and swords and machetes, they're legal in New York City, and you can have them while transporting, but it's up to a police officer's discretion if they think you're going to use it for malicious intent or not.
So they might just be dickheads and just want to say like you're probably going to use it to rob someone.
Absolutely.
So it's best not to have it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Even if I was going to Comic-Con or something like that, you know,
you got to be safe with that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That Comic-Con stuff gets crazy. Like their costumes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm all for that.
I'm not gonna say it. Go ahead. No.
Nah, I'm all for. Like,
I'm all for it too.
The going, because these things are, you know, we saw this shit growing up, right? We get the opportunity to be with a bunch of other people who think the same way that we do, who feel the same way that we do in our comfort pocket, and we just want to go all the way out. But I don't think I'll ever go to one.
No, my mind just went completely south with all like the active shooters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People can dress up as one and just destroy that whole thing.
Yeah, that would suck.
That's where my mind went, but I didn't want to say it because I ain't want nobody to.
Hey, man,
that's a good idea.
It is right, exactly. but it is that we live in that world today, man. That's the world that we live in today of anything that can happen. But so let's just jump into. By now, all of us have seen the movie Us, correct?
Yes, I seen it last night. Man, oh man,
I seen it on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw it on Saturday. I didn't want nobody to spoil anything.
Yeah.
So I saw it ASAP.
Yeah. So opening weekend was the biggest weekend for us to go, right? Second week doesn't necessarily matter, but first weekend, you know, broke records. It was the biggest opening for original film that wasn't a sequel or, you know, like another adaptation.
Black female actress, and surprisingly, surprisingly, this is Lupita's first leading role, even after winning an Oscar. That's crazy.
In 2014 for 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, that's right. Right, so
is that a good?
Nah, it's not a good because if you saw 12 Years a Slave, she was getting whipped like crazy. You know,
she was getting raped.
It was real. It was real. It was real. You got to be tough to watch that.
But black people can't be in an elevated position in the movie and win an Oscar, right? Denzel had to be a dickhead, and he had to play the bad guy.
Yeah.
Halle Berry had to play that role in Monsters Ball to win her Oscar. And it's just we just need more directors like Jordan Peele that's putting us in a positive light. And back to Corey's point earlier, where he said that Jordan Peele doesn't plan on making a white guy. No offense, Miles. My bad, Miles. Any of our Caucasian listeners, no offense to anybody that's probably get offended by Jordan Peele's remark by saying that, you know, he doesn't plan on making a white guy any kind of lead anytime soon. And this is only his second movie, and he could pretty much do whatever the hell you want.
I don't feel like he should have to apologize. It's like you don't need help putting white people in movies. There's millions and gazillions of movies. There's a whole 100 years of cinema.
It seems like they're God-given right to be in a movie. Right?
We don't need help putting them in movies. They're gonna get, So shout outs to Jordan Peele.
Yeah, man, definitely more directors like him. So what are we? How do you want to jump into the movie? Corey, it's freshest in your mind, right? Because Rocko and I seen it a couple of days ago. It's freshest in your mind. So what is your take on
the movie? 8 out of 5 flames.
8 out of 8 out of. Well, 8 out of 10.
I want to give 8 out of 10.
Okay, 8 out of 10 flames. Okay,
8 flames. I love the fact that he paid homage to a lot of older movies. I don't know if you realize that the son had a Jaws shirt on. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, when they was zooming into the TV, the movies on the VHSs on the left and the right were old movies. Mm-hmm. Thriller, he related to that. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that and it was the good, scary old movies that he pointed out on the VHS. So I love that. You got to really pay attention to the movie because after the movie, I watched that video you sent me, and there's a couple things I missed, like the bunnies. I couldn't find the correlation to the bunnies until I watched that movie, that clip, that 9-minute clip, 10-minute clip. It was just overall a good movie. I enjoyed it. I was a little. It was a moment when I kind of got uninterested. I'm like, what the fuck? This shit about to be over? Based off of what I've seen from the trailers and the advertisement. I'm like, damn, this is it. Never knew about the white family. That was a surprise. That was a kicker. And then but I did in the very beginning when she was at the therapy. They was at the therapist with the girl, and it was like, I don't know who this girl is. She's not talking. I was like, oh, they switched. Okay. I knew that from that point. From that point, I whispered in my wife's ear. I was like, they switched. Wow. And then as she was going down, as she went through the tunnel, I'm like, damn, this bitch really know her way through this tunnel. Boom. And then I was like, how the fuck she knew this escalator was down here? I was like, okay, this is weird. Wow. And then when she started snapping her neck and she screamed, I said, oh, this is what I said. I said, oh, no, they switched. I'm like, some fucking type of shit they switch. And then after I watched the video, they didn't switch. That's when I recognized. Well, I kind of put two and two together. I was like, oh, she was the fake one and she was the real one.
All right, Rocko, what are your thoughts?
And I was gonna say, I also mentioned to my girlfriend, I was like, I think that's the other girl. Like towards the end, before it was revealed, I felt that. I noticed it. But yeah, as far as the movie, like, I'm looking at, okay, critics say what they say, whatever. But the general public, it seems like it fell flat for them. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it seems like as far as the general public goes, it seems like the movie kind of fell flat for them. I liked it as a person who's into films. I liked it. It's a psychological thriller. That's my favorite genre of movie. It's my favorite genre movie. And after seeing Get Out, I knew I had to be on my A game and be on the lookout for little things popping up here and there. And I did notice that at one point the boy was eating Fruit Loops with no milk in this movie. But that's
I did not notice
that's like an Easter egg for I guess Jordan Peele's movies. But yeah, man, I thought the movie was good. And on the last podcast,
okay, hold on. How many flames out of 10?
How many flames? Well, talking about the way it made me feel, I would say 7.5.
That's a reset.
7.5 flames because like maybe it's just us and because we live in America. Get Out hit. Yeah. And it was his first movie, but Get Out, whoever would have made that movie, it hit because it was like, oh shit, this is a crazy movie about how people feel about interracial dating to some extent. Right. You know what I mean? And then they turned it into a whole other world with what they were really doing, But this movie was, which I had mentioned on the last podcast, I was like, it would be nice to make a movie about black people, but it has nothing to really do with them being black. Sure. And that's what this movie was. Like, it didn't really have anything to do with them being black. It wasn't those stereotypical tropes. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. But I think a lot of people went into it expecting, I don't know what they was expecting, but it fell flat for the general public. Yeah, I liked it though.
Yeah. The one thing that I appreciated about the movie, first of all, I went to see it in in IMAX 2D, and I couldn't tell the difference between IMAX 2D and like regular.
You never can.
It's just a fucking gimmick. Besides, if it's 3D, of course you will be able to tell 3D. And
you just got money. You wanted to waste
no.
You wanted to waste
actually
money.
The Us movie. That's the only theater that was showing it in the 2D IMAX. So I had to.
Oh,
number one, I had to support black film on the opening weekend because technically that's all that matters, really, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the longevity matters, but how you put your first step really matters, right?
That's it.
Yes.
I paid $5.
Oh,
one on
$5
Tuesday.
That's fine
I supported the movie.
Balling on the budget. I feel
but hey.
You know what? I'll actually clue you guys into something about the movie theater world.
Yeah, sure.
Shout outs to this podcast for giving me the chance to use
Hey, come on.
Go for it.
So movie theaters are really there to sell popcorn. They make most of their money off of concessions.
Hell yeah, that shit is $8 for a small popcorn. So of course,
Bro.
They only make about $2-3 per ticket sale.
Really?
So they sell it in tickets just so they can sell you the candy. So that's why they do the $5 Tuesdays or you
because it don't really phase their pockets.
Yeah, they want you to buy the popcorn.
Yeah.
So my wife bought popcorn and nachos last night. Oh, and it was $16.
It's supposed to be one or the other.
No,
wife.
she went both. and then we had went to CVS prior. She grabbed salt and vinegar chips. She grabbed some Sour Patches.
How did you sneak those in?
She put them in her bag. They don't care.
They don't check the bag?
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
And she bought like 2 other things like water, juice. I'm like, and you getting popcorn? What the? I said, I swear to God, you fucking pregnant, I'll kill you.
Right. So yeah, man. Back to my pretty much take on it. I appreciate that the movie evolved for me, right?
It did.
It didn't stay like a horror film. It didn't stay in that lane. It didn't stay in the thriller lane. I think it kind of jumped around a little bit and it kind of grew. Sure, initially, to find me thinking, okay, this is an isolated incident. This only happened to us. But of course, if you were in that position, you'd be like, damn, it's only me.
Right.
It's just happening to me at this point in time.
Right.
But then to find out, okay, this is a global thing. Like Corey said, that he didn't know there was a white family in the movie.
Right.
But now that kind of evolved into that as well.
Yeah.
So, it didn't stay that slasher, scary shit. It kind of grew into a thriller. Then it kind of have you questioning yourself because initially, when she was in the mirror, little Find Yourself amusement park when she was younger, I initially thought, yo, they definitely switch, right? But then as the movie go along, I'm like, it doesn't really make any sense for them to switch. Like it kind of that the movie then put that theory in the back of your mind depending on how it was progressing,
right?
Based on how it was progressing, and then I kind of said it kind of clicked after she meets Red and the thing, and then Red is cutting the Hands Across America thing. Then I said, okay, they definitely switch. But then for a movie to take your initial like gut feeling and kind of put that in the back seat as they went along, it was like, all right, Jordan Peele has me. Whatever he puts out, I'm going to support it 110%.
Heck yeah. That boy's good.
He was quoted when he was on the press junket for Get Out. He was quoted in saying that he plans to, weave in the Get Out thing in his next movie. But then when he was asked about it this go around for the movie Us, he was like he cannot confirm or deny. Right.
Okay.
But for every we normally see the Easter eggs and the little tie-ins when it goes to superhero movies and other movies. We don't see it in film from this caliber or from this director.
Right.
So this is definitely something I could appreciate. I love all the characters. I love Winston Duke's character. He was kind of the comic relief a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't get tired because although he made some jokes when probably wasn't ideal to make jokes, especially when all the family was in the opposite family, the Tethers were in the room, and then they were all in the living room, and then he's still cracking jokes, and then she's trying to tell him, yo, shut up, like, dude, relax.
Right.
So
because she knew.
Yeah.
She knew.
Yeah. She already know what it was from jump.
Right.
So I love the movie, man. I want to see it again. I want to support it again, but for it to do 86 million globally, breaking A Quiet Place record, which Quiet Place is really good. I love The Quiet Place. Yeah. Breaking that record, and the people that of course our friends, you said on the General Public kind of died down a little bit. My friend said that they didn't really like it too much. It was it wasn't
what,
but then Us.
Oh, okay.
The people said it was okay, it was decent, but I loved every second of it. Man.
Me too.
From the beginning, from the music that was chosen in the beginning, I'm music. Like, this shit is scary as shit.
Right.
And I love it.
Right.
From a black director.
And then one thing, a couple of things actually. The first thing, one thing I liked about the movie was that it was a puzzle until the end.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like when it was about to end, you were like, oh, it's about to be over. I don't know what to expect, and that's what we're so used to.
Yeah.
When we see movies, we're like
predictability.
Yeah,
right?
We're like, okay, he got the big sword or he got the big gun. Now this is gonna be over or whatever. And now it was like, oh. We don't know what's happening. She's going deeper into it.
Sure.
And the theater I was at, which shout out to Alamo Drafthouse, but also no shout out to y'all because the thing is they give you your bill before the movie's about to be over.
Oh shit!
So you know the movie's about to be over because they dropping off the
Oh, so they kind of clue you in a little bit.
Yeah, and I was like,
bitches.
I was scratching my head. I was like,
you should have just took my card.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this movie's over yet because they didn't get the big gun or the big sword. We don't know how this is gonna end, but that's what I liked about it. But the thing is with this genre of psychological thrillers, they typically fall flat on the general public, or they just fall flat, period. They fall flat on people because it forces you to think, and it is a little abstract to an extent. You know what I mean? And sometimes the twist doesn't catch people. That's why M. Night Shyamalan is not the most popular. He's popular, but a lot of his movies fall flat because they have these twists at the end.
Damn you, M. Night Shyamalan, for ruining fucking, what's that? Aang.
The Village? It's a lot of movies.
No, shit. Aang with the ball head, arrow on the head.
Oh, Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah. He
damn,
blew it.
You
that
wasn't.
He wasn't supposed to be messing with movies like that
at all.
Yeah, he's good at making original movies, as is Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with this movie, Us, because it's not an adaptation from a book, because it's not an adaptation from a TV show, people don't have anything to draw off of.
Sure.
And a lot of people, they're generally afraid to jump into something. That's why these movie studios, they pick things with the audience already.
Yeah.
Now, he just so happened to have an audience because of the movie Get Out.
Right.
But people jumped in and they didn't have anything to pull from to really put them in that conclusion.
Sure.
So that's why a lot of people are like, because they just saw something original. That's from somebody's mind.
Yeah, and we need to appreciate more original art, right? Because of course, we love the superhero movies because those things technically already existed. We just have someone to put it on visuals, right? To give it the CG it needs to draw audiences to do whatever. But for original, you got to support original content, man, because if you get more of those in the market, there's literally more opportunities for other directors to do that, right? So the success of Jordan Peele from Get Out to Us is a success for maybe an Asian director, maybe a black female director out there.
That would be nice.
Open up in more doors. But again, I really don't understand what the hesitation is with Hollywood and their surprise or shock when something does really well.
They're scared for a change.
Yeah,
that is true. And the thing with Hollywood, not that I'm like a guru necessarily, but I did a lot of research because I'm doing my thing to make sure that when it goes down, it really goes down and it stays going down.
Sure.
So the research that I've done, basically what it comes down to is Hollywood is like a bank. They don't want to give you a loan unless there's going to be some sort of guaranteed income after that. Yeah. And even Warner Brothers, they almost went bankrupt. If Lord of the Rings didn't hit, Warner Brothers would have went bankrupt. They put all their money into Lord of the Rings because it was adapted from a book. It had a background, and this was this director's first type of movie. But they're looking for things that are gonna bank. That's why so many movies are adaptations from books, from TV shows. They're doing remakes, and sometimes even those don't hit.
Right.
Like they redid
Shazam.
Well, I hope that should hit.
Yeah,
but I was excited about that.
I was gonna say they redid Point Break, which was a movie with Tom Cruise from back in the day.
Yeah.
Dope movie, man. They remade it. I never heard a thing about it.
Wow, they did remake it.
I didn't know that.
Was Chris Hemsworth in that?
Some maybe, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It didn't hit. So the thing is, this is the flip side of Hollywood. They want to bank on things that are gonna bank.
Yeah.
But some 90% or a good amount of the time when they put something out, it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
And so it just is proof that there's no real formula in this industry. And you're right, they do have to give chances. Shout outs to the Independent Spirit Awards.
Okay.
Some people watch the Oscars and that's their big game.
Yeah.
But for me, the Independent Spirit Awards, they usually give credit to those like original films, those up and coming films. And I kind of ditched the AMCs and the Lows and I started going to like the Angelica Film Center, the IFC, because that's where you'll see a lot of the original stuff,
Gotcha.
But they have very few seats.
Gotcha.
You go to any of those theaters, it's like 40 seats in one room.
Yeah.
So it's not even a capacity for you to do the numbers that like Get Out and stuff is doing. So,
but even with those theaters, less seats. I think it's more room to kind of focus on what's on the screen.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
You know, kind of versus what's going on, or people getting up, people in their way, talking. So less seats, more kind of more intimate seats.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, on smaller restaurants like brunch spots, you see it get super packed.
Right.
Because that kind of works for the servers.
True.
You know, so they could be more face to face, more timing with the guests versus them having a capacity of over 100 and running around not spending time, because then in my mind, all right, I didn't feel like we connected, so I'm not gonna give you a tip.
Oh, damn.
I'm not even gonna hold you. So people do have to go to that mile. So I was gonna ask you, what's your take on? I know this is something you want to talk about as well, but what's your take on, you know, Jordan Peele's route or path that he took to get where he's at today?
Oh yeah. So okay, I just so happened to, when I was coming up, well, today's my birthday. I'm 27. So when I was born in 1992, and when I was coming up, Mad TV was the show on, I think, Saturday nights.
Mad, you're so
great theme song.
Crazy. Yeah.
Great.
Great fucking
Hilarious.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh,
good.
Great show.
Yeah.
But like towards the end of its time, it was like the early 2000s, it was getting whack. But Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele were new on the show. Like they would just get different like comedy writers or comedians.
I had no idea they were on the show.
I didn't know that
See?
either.
Exactly. That's to me, that's where they started. Like I'm sure they had origins before that. But that's where they started, and the show was on the decline. You know, and if you go, you could look that there's a skit where it was like two dudes and they were like playing basketball, or they were trying to fight and they were trying to also protect their masculinity and like not get too close to each other, but also be in each other's face. Hilarious. But that show died. It went off the air. And there was no more Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key. But then they resurfaced.
Of course, in Comedy Central.
And then they had their own show. Now, they're just doing comedy, you know? But those skits, sometimes they were so raw. Like, you felt it. And the shout out to Alamo Drafthouse. Y'all get another thumbs up. Even though y'all got a thumbs down, y'all get a thumbs up. Because before the movie, and Nighthawk Theater does this too, they show you things that are in the realm of the movie you're going to watch. So they were showing like top 10 like Key and Peele skits. And in those skits, they showed,
That's dope.
Yeah. It was cool. So you got to see a little bit of what he was doing before that. But who would have thought that Jordan Peele, this funny guy, this goofy guy, was going to write the dopest social commentary horror film? You know what I mean? So what I had wanted to speak about his path was that he stuck to plan A. Because for all we know, he always wanted to make a movie. But he was into comedy too. And he did all these other things, but he never gave up. After Mad TV went down, a lot of those people just kind of dispersed. Like, I don't know what all those other people are doing. Jordan Peele was one of the last people on that show, and he's still kicking it. So that just speaks volumes to, like, always follow your plan A. Always stay on your path. Don't be worrying about what other people are doing, because there are people who stick to it. Because like some famous people, like Will Sasso was on Mad TV. He's a famous comedian. Ari Spears was on Mad TV, famous comedian.
Who's the voice of Lois on Family Guy?
Yes,
Alex something.
I can't. They were also on Mad TV. The voice of Lois on Family Guy was also on Mad TV. So you got all these people doing well after Mad TV. Jordan Peele was probably like, "Dad, we were the last people on the show, and the show got canceled." You know how that feels to be the last people on the show and then it gets canceled? Like, that means that you feel the weight of that. But they was like, "Nah, we're gonna keep going in this comedy game." And then Key and Peele went down because they wanted it to. They felt like if we kept going, it might not be funny.
That's the thing too.
And then he put out this movie and he blew everybody's minds. And now he's known as a director, and he's bringing that attention back to directors. It was gone for a while. Only certain people had it. Spike Lee, Quentin Tarantino, Michael Bay, Steven Spielberg. But Jordan Peele is a new director, and now we're saying, a Jordan Peele movie. You know what I mean? A Spike Lee movie, as opposed to a Tom Cruise movie. Tom Cruise didn't direct that movie. Why are we saying it's a Tom Cruise movie? You know what I mean? So, but now we're coming back into this era, and I love it.
With that being said, people appreciate the art, not the artist.
Right, typically. And now we're doing it over, and we're like, Jordan Peele I'm see it. You don't have to know nothing. If they say Jordan Peele's putting out a movie next year, I'm buying a ticket today.
If Jordan Peele is doing a biopic on the Chick-fil-A owner, the owner of Chick-fil-A, I'm gonna see it. I know it's gonna be so good.
Well, that's so true, because he's doing the Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah.
I know absolutely nothing about Twilight Zone. I saw his little name. I said, I'm going to watch it.
There you go.
And it's not necessarily on a TV, because, you know, everything is streaming now, right? So it's on CBS All Access.
I wrote on their Instagram, I told them, put this on TV so people can watch this for real.
So what's the measure? Is there a way to measure? Well, I'm pretty sure that there is, but is it more accurate to measure viewings on the television or, I guess streams on the internet, or they're the same?
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that I'll be in this,
There you go.
So there's something called like the Nielsen box.
Yeah.
And certain families are called like Nielsen families, and like based on like they are the ones that are counted in the ratings. I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
You can become one potentially, but they're not elite. You know what I mean? Like it's accessible to some extent, but that's how they count the TV streams. But the streams, that's like universal.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would probably be easier to count for real.
And with mobile devices, and we've done one of our episodes, one of our early episodes about cable is dead. Everything is you have your YouTube TV.
Yep.
I have my Direct TV now where I pay $40 and I literally get all the channels that I want.
Nice.
Without any contract, and you pay monthly. Versus if you go with the traditional Optimum or traditional Direct TV, you're paying upwards of over maybe $200.
Yep. Whack.
Right, exactly. And I could watch TV on the go. Literally, if I want to pull up live right now, I could pull up on my phone.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
You know how many times I went out, but knowing that I had my phone to watch a sports event with my wife, she's like, "Hey, let's go here." I'm like, "Bitch, oh yeah. Let me just make sure my phone's fully charged and we out."
Yeah, I gotcha. So what do you think the impact is? Besides, of course, money and opportunity, what other impact do you think us had on, film in general and just we as a people?
I think that the impact is so number one, people of color seeing themselves in a film like this, like a psychological thriller type of movie. I think that's gonna open up millions. Well, you said besides opportunity, but like they showed a trailer for something called Ma.
Yes, I've seen that.
And
now Octavia Spencer.
Yeah,
that look good.
Another movie, it has nothing to do with her being black.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's the villain. She's like this horror villain.
I can't wait to see that. That got me excited. Yeah. I was like, that's good.
Yeah. So I think ultimately it's going to be a social impact because there are people who started moving like, damn, he doesn't sound like a black guy.
Right.
Oh, she doesn't sound like, this is how black people are. And it's like, it's a social impact where people are going to realize like, yo, black people are people. You know, like we got our flavor, you feel me? But black people are people. I think there's going to be a huge social impact from that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. People are going to be like, damn, I'm sure there's going to be somebody who works out of office and be like, hey, they didn't really act like a black family. And like, somebody's going to be able to check them and be like, what does that mean? What is a black family to you? Like, oh, well, you watch those Tyler Perry movies. And it's like, nah, there's all different types of black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to your point there, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It's kind of the same impact based on what you said. It's kind of the same impact that the Cosby Show, when it was popular in its heyday, like mid 80s to like mid 90s, I think it lasted. It kind of gave a different size of a black family, right? So here you have a mom and dad. Claire was a lawyer. Cliff was a doctor. And they're going through the same thing that the traditional white family will go through, right? Mm-hmm. And it kind of made them relatable. So that probably washed away everything that they were saying, the propaganda they were saying against black people.
Absolutely.
Like, black people are just like us.
Yeah.
So we could tell that probably made an impact on people, just in general view of how they view black folks and black families. So now you have in this instance, over 30 years later, 25, 30 years later, and you have, again, mom and dad. Sure, we don't know anything about their background per se. We don't know their profession.
Yeah.
So we don't have that to judge them.
But they were going on a vacation.
Sure.
To a beach, and he bought like a rinky-dink boat.
Yeah.
So he got money.
That opens up a portal.
Yeah.
It's like people can start seeing themselves in that light and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation with my family this summer."
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna buy a little boat or yacht or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was kind of, I know there wasn't necessarily nothing about them being black in the movie, but I found it interesting that, the father pretty much got the boat to kind of compete with the other family that has pretty much everything. You see the house all glass.
Yeah.
Like, I could never live in an all glass house.
I wouldn't want to.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought about it. Overall, I can't.
Right. What's the name of that operating system that they had that cued fuck the police, like the greatest fuck the police cue I've ever seen in my entire
That was actually
life.
a good use. I think that should win an award. Best use of music in a film.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah, there should be a creative category for that specifically.
It was something with an A.
It wasn't Alexa, but it was something like that.
Something close to it. Yeah, it was perfect. Now we know that Lupita deserves all the awards, right? She deserved Best Actress nomination.
She did it. Yo, they played themselves.
Yeah,
right. They played the good people and the villains.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Crazy.
So we know that you saw Hereditary that came out last year.
Her interview.
Hereditary.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Whoever is the mother that was in that movie, she deserves a nomination. She deserved the nomination and award for that. But it was probably because based on genre, because it was a horror kind of.
Right.
So I don't know how this is gonna change that to see if maybe that kind of open up the door. Be like, oh shit, we got to start giving horror movies, horror movie actresses and actors, their just due.
Yeah, as long. I mean, the thing with horror movies is that they typically were, slasher films, movies for teenagers or whatever to go see and get spooked.
It wasn't good acting. Like Freddy vs. Jason wasn't a great movie of actors, right?
Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like teenage, like even just in general, like the Nightmare on Elm Street in the '80s when it came out, it wasn't really that good acting.
Right, and these movies seldom had any real message. You know what I mean?
No message.
Right.
Just created. I feel like it just created a whole bunch of like a line of scary movies. We always know the white people gonna trip. We always know the black people gonna die first. It's just like it just created that whole like mirror effect.
Right.
When I never thought about it in that context, but now sitting back thinking about it, that's what it is.
Exactly what it is. So
it's not really good,
and
it's just scary.
I don't know what other movies that's gonna come out for the rest of this year and Oscar season is gonna deserve, because I'm pretty sure there's some movies out there that's already announced that's are slated to come out, but this is gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah,
like Best Director, Best Original Screenplay.
It definitely has to win Best Actress.
Best Actress. Yeah,
unless some other shit come out.
Yeah,
and then in this year.
I don't have the list in front of me, but thinking I don't think there is. Besides, of course, the regular superhero movies that I'm excited for. Besides Avengers, and fucking Toy Story 4. I'm climbing up the wall for that shit.
That'll get like animation.
Yo, 100%.
Lion King.
Lion King 2 for animation as well. So
Ooh.
I don't know what else that should what else could fall into that realm as my favorite movie. Right now, Us is my favorite movie the whole entire year.
Right on. I will say to that, as far as winning awards and changing things, that's something I had said during Oscar night. I just do this. I just kind of talk to celebrities without putting any emphasis around it. Like I'll send them something, I'll DM them. I don't care.
I gotta get this off my chest. Fuck it.
I gotta see your DM, man. So I did a story where I was talking to Spike Lee and I was like, Spike Lee, it doesn't matter if you win an award tonight because you have made movies that have impacted the world. You know what I mean? Like, Do the Right Thing didn't win an Oscar. Jungle Fever didn't win an Oscar. She's Gotta Have It didn't win an Oscar. But these are movies that we still talk about and still pick apart. And still, people teach Do the Right Thing in college classes. Like, they go through to talk about America and the social dynamics. So
and it foreshadowed gentrification.
Yes, and I talked about that.
You talk about that? Yeah. See, I remember.
I love this. Yeah. So, with Us, one thing that I really like is that people are sitting down and breaking it apart. How often do people break apart the movie that they saw? So now we're gonna get to a realm where people are like, I don't want to see a movie unless I can spend an hour talking about it
afterwards, right?
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, I didn't spend an hour. Me and my girl, she was kind of confused. I was kind of confused. Whatever. We talked about it a little bit, but people are wanting to have discussions. And yo, who saw it? Yo, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen with movies like Avengers or whatever. They're like, did you see this Easter egg? Did you see that Easter egg? Still good movies.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody breaking them down like, yo, did you see when she did that though? When she turned left and the way that she said tethered or the way that the character said together, she never said it as one word. She kept it split. For some reason, and it's because they weren't together. You know what I mean?
For him to think about all this is just mind blowing.
Yeah, exactly. and then to the point where one of the videos that we were watching, of course, we didn't notice when Lupita Nyong'o's character was explaining to the husband what she feels like. She feels like, when she said that she feels like she's watching me, she's going to come, I want to leave tomorrow. The way that she was speaking and purposely splitting her words And even when she was at the beach and the white family was saying, you know, and she said, hey, I don't really like to talk much, because it literally took time in order for her to learn speech and in order to act a certain way. She was offbeat on purpose.
In the third,
on purpose. So it's kind of mind blowing. Yeah, Jordan Peele, build your universe.
Facts.
Build whatever you want to build. We're gonna follow it till the ends of the earth, man. Right, so I just hope I'm alive to see every single thing that you make.
I know that I already know your opinion on this. Yeah. Do you want a part 2?
A part 2 to us?
Because the way it ended with the child knowing.
Yeah. Damn. Well, see, here's my thing about that, right? What is that kid gonna? Okay, I would like to see a part 2 because I'm already theorizing. Because it's like, yo, what's that kid gonna do? Like, that's your real mom,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right. That is his real mom.
That's his real mom. That's that dude's real wife. Like, you know, that's his reality. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would like to see a part 2. Like, what happens now that these people are out? These tethered people,
right?
Holding hands across America.
Yeah, like what do they do now? Yeah. Like, do they run the country or whatever? Yeah. One thing I realized though when the movie was all said and done was that the golden scissors had no like significance
at all.
Yeah, they could have used anything to kill them.
It kind of did.
It did?
What? Yes.
What was it?
I saw a video
Break it down.
Of course, Jordan Peele didn't come on and say this. I'm pretty sure after the movie, like a month later, he's gonna have, just like Ryan Coogler did when Black Panther was already out for like a month, and I forgot that there's a video that he did where he kind of broke down that particular fight scene in the casino.
Okay.
So he kind of broke down shit that I didn't notice.
Interesting.
So the scissors, right? You know, the purpose of having scissors there to kill them, you realize, number one, a lot of them, they were going for the throat, right?
Okay.
And scissors are symmetrical, right? So there's two sides, right? So you have one side and the other side, right? So as soon as you kill them, like, okay, this half stays and the other half goes, kind of thing. Also, I saw a video that says, you know, the one glove reference to Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay. I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that.
So, and besides the Thriller Easter egg with the Thriller T-shirt in the beginning, that kind of led them to believe, okay, that's their real daughter, and you know, the Hands Across America thing, and the fact that, you know, when the switch happened, the fake character handcuffed the real character to the bed, and then that's when she came into the house, she made her handcuff herself to the table or whatever it is. So that's another one too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'll send you the videos, man. It's great fucking stuff.
One thing that I just really love about that movie. So yeah, I would like to see a part 2, because one thing I really dug was like the concept of you fighting yourself has always, and everything I've seen, like going back to Power Rangers, like the Green Ranger fighting the White Ranger, it's like if you punch him, he's gonna punch you.
Yeah.
If you go down below, he's gonna jump. You know what I mean? If you go up high, he's gonna duck. Like they know what you're gonna do.
Right.
So I really liked how they used that in this movie, where the boy was like, okay, let me start walking back.
And into the fire.
Yo, so,
kind of what he was born out of the fire, because he was come out able
with the
to
burns.
With the burns,
Ooh,
right.
Back to where you came from.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in the beginning, the first kill, when Gabe banged his head, and then the dude, you know, felt that, and he fell in the ocean and got chopped up by it.
I didn't even peep that.
My girl didn't peep it either. She was like, what happened?
I was wondering how he got through. He kicked him or something. See, I missed that scene.
He banged his head on the boat.
Did,
I think I was dipping my nachos into it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I was like,
pay attention.
Yeah, I don't want to drop it on my tea.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Nacho cheese is the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway.
When we get popcorn, my wife brings her own seasoning.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Like whether it be
really
cheddar or
that's wild.
Yeah, she does, man. Hey, preparedness. Yeah.
So really quick, you still don't want to see a part 2? Or
no,
do you
I don't. I love the fact that it started the conversation.
Okay.
I love the open kind of open ending of it. And it didn't really, for example, this is gonna be, you know, completely out of left field, but the Incredibles movie deserved a part 2.
Okay,
right?
interesting.
Because literally we had to see what happened next, right? So they were at the track meet, and at the end of Incredibles 1, where they finally let Dash compete in the relay races, right? And literally the Underminer came up, so there was a villain for them to kind of now fight. Like, all right, something's gonna happen. I want to see what happened next, right?
I never saw that.
How are the characters gonna grow? What is the next thing? And you know, the Incredibles 2 movie was fantastic, but then did you see Into the Spider-Verse?
No, not yet.
Come on, dog.
I wanted to. I heard it was really cool.
Man, it won over any Pixar movie. Pixar's been winning Best Animated Feature for 10 years straight. But that's Sony. Of course it's Marvel property, but it's Sony from Sony Productions that took the Oscar this year.
Wow. Okay.
See it.
Okay, I'll check it out. I wanted to.
Yeah, I kidnap you and make you watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Damn. Okay.
He's obsessed.
Hey man, listen.
It's good.
Okay.
Listen, it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's one of my favorite movie for 2018.
Okay.
So so that's why I don't want to see a sequel for us, because I want, besides this conversation to go, besides the conversation has already gotten and the traction has already gotten, I want it to be open ended. I wanted to say, okay, guess what happens next? It's up to your interpretation.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. But I wanted to speak on this dude. So I watched Winston Duke go on the Breakfast Club.
Shout out to the Breakfast Club, man.
And shout outs to them.
Yeah.
And he was chatting. Charlemagne the God was reaching. When it comes to theories, he was like, "Oh, this movie's about classism. It's about this and that." And it's just interesting to hear like what other people think the movie is about.
Sure.
It's kind of a projection of what they are thinking about already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so like he thought it was about classism. I didn't see that at all.
I didn't either.
No. Yeah, he was just like.
I think originally when you're looking at it, you probably could think that, but it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because they were like copies, and then somebody said something about seeing yourself in others.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I thought that.
Yeah, because at one point, homeboy, Gabe didn't see that this is you. Like, this is a copy of you. He just thought it was some dude trying to take his wallet, or you know what I mean?
Go ahead, say your favorite line.
You want to get crazy?
We can get crazy. That's literally.
I said that in the movie. Wait, shut up.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my favorite part. I don't know why.
Yeah, man, it's a great fucking movie overall, man. Hey, Miles, how much time we got? Okay, 10 minutes. 10 minutes ish.
So we're gonna jump off the us topic. And we're gonna jump into some other things.
There's one question I want to ask you before we go there.
I got questions too before that thing.
Good. So, where do where do black directors go from there? Go from here? Like, do we dabble into do we stay in film? Do we go to TV? Do we do animation, or can we do it all?
I think now we have access. Like, it's universal now. Because Rihanna did do that movie Home with the animation. And this new Disney movie with The Lion King with every black person that has a net worth of $1 million or more is in it. Like, I think we could do anything. And I think that's what's going to happen 5-10 years from now. You know, people are going to be able to make sci-fi, fantasy, medieval, whatever, and throw some black people in there, because it's like, why not?
Yeah.
You know, like we don't have at this point, we don't have anything to prove anymore. It's a matter of like us just executing.
Yeah.
And no one who's going to stop you.
Right.
You know, if you black, you got a ticket. You better make something.
You better make it happen.
Yeah.
And we're here today we're here being content creators. We're really putting stuff out there. Again, you could build it all you want, but you got to get in the people's way, right? Get in their way, kind of show it to them.
Right.
Be a pop-up blocker.
Right.
Wreck-It Ralph 2. Wreck-It Ralph 2. Again, I'm all about animated movies, but Wreck-It Ralph 2, literally, when they get to the internet, there's literally a bunch of ads that pop up in their faces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, literally get in people's way to get your content out there.
Oh, yeah.
I literally tweeted all the people who I liked and appreciated on Twitter our video for the top 5 and get what they think, and we got a hit. Like, if I never did that, he would have never saw that. So you got to get in people's way.
Yeah, man. That's what I love about social media. And that's why I'm not afraid to, like, literally be like, yo, Spike Lee.
Send him a DM.
Yeah, and be like, yo, I respect you regardless. Gotcha. And I've gotten responses every
here
now and
there,
then.
Yeah.
I don't do it for the clout. I do it because it's like, at
you
some
don't brag
point,
about it at all.
Yeah. At some point, we're gonna be communicating with them anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm just starting a little early.
Yeah. And then we've learned that, you know, looking at Will Smith and then that interview that he did last year with Rap Radar and Tidal. With Elliot Wilson, I forgot the other guy's name. You know, back in the day, you know, it was cool to be secluded, kind of away from the public.
Yeah.
But now with social media, with Will Smith creating Instagram and getting on YouTube,
he has a dope
like
YouTube.
you have to get you. Now celebrity is proximity, right?
Right.
You have to be close to the people,
right.
Responding to their DMs or responding to their comments, putting out content that's just for them in general. So I love every every minute of it, man. And my wife doesn't necessarily get it. Like, she can't sit there and listen to an hour-long interview, hour-long podcast. I can. 2 hour long podcast. I can. But
long as it's good.
Yeah, go ahead, Corey. Get in your bag.
Well, no, not yet. Okay. We're gonna make this quick. So, it's your birthday. Any plans?
Oh, after this, I'm going to a spa in.
Nice.
I ain't gonna say their name because they ain't paying me.
Right. But nice. That's a good one.
I'm going to a spa in New Jersey.
I know which one.
Okay.
They actually hiring. I was thinking about applying for it. Oh, director of security. Yeah. Addison, New Jersey. Edgewater.
Yeah. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I told people, I was like, I never do nothing. Yeah. Like, it's my birthday and I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But well, he hit me up. He's like, what are you doing Wednesday? I was like, it's my birthday. He was like, oh, never mind. I was like, no. Let's do it.
Let's
do it. Because I love doing this. Like, this should be a part of your habit. You know, this
is what makes you happy. It's your day.
Yeah. So I'm into it, and we're talking about film. Like, I couldn't have dreamed of a better thing.
Better thing to do on your birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Again, really appreciate it, man.
So Sonic Gallery, anything going on there?
Yeah. So we finally got a residency, so we can do one episode a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great fucking news.
Yeah. So it's in Brooklyn. It's this new spot called Universe City. They're opening up. It's on 234 Glenmore, and they're trying to. It's pretty much like Wakanda, man. Like, it's this big old warehouse. They got quite a few rooms, and they have a huge raw industrial space. Mm-hmm. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to like allow artists to kind of like, you know how they got WeWork and stuff like that. Yeah. This is like that, but on just like a different level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, make sure I know you will post it, but I'm trying to come to one.
There's more to come with Sonic Gallery. Our goal right now is to knock out this spring and summer in New York, and then once the fall and the winter comes, we're going to start checking out other states so that we can really do a coast to coast situation.
Gotcha.
My business plan for Sonic Gallery was to start in New York and then go to Cali, then go to Seattle, go to Texas, go to Miami.
Nice.
Yeah, and then that way we kind of do a coast to coast thing because the people from those other places will start looking at the old episodes and checking out the Instagram, and we're just gonna create our own music network. Yeah.
That's actually what I want to do. Create like our own podcast network as well.
It's possible.
Bunch of. I love when we get some black female podcasters in the podcast space.
Yeah,
and of course, most industries are real male dominated, but as soon as you get those female voices in there, I don't give a shit what they're talking about. The fact that they're on a platform, they're on the stage, I think we need a shit ton more of that. So I definitely want to. That's one of my goals is definitely starting a podcast network. But go ahead.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm gonna get into it. Okay. So you know how last time you was on, the first time, it's the second time that you were on, we did like This or That or Travel, Non-Travel. I forgot which one we did. Okay. So this one we're gonna do. It's called Rapid Fire. So I'm gonna ask you questions, and you say the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay.
So let's do the first one as an example. DJing.
Turntables.
Okay, so I seen you DJing a lot lately.
Oh, okay.
So 1-800 get lit, right?
1-800 get lit. Basically, it does look like I'm DJing. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm controlling the lights. So it's a collaboration between me and my boy Jasani Jacobs. He's a DJ.
Shout out to Jasani.
And like, I like to manually control lights because you get to like really go with the flow of what's happening. So I've been standing. I wear a mask and I stand on the side of him and I do the lights while he's DJing.
Yeah. That's fire.
A lot of people do think that we're DJing.
Yeah.
So,
that's fire.
It looks good.
It does. It does.
Thank you.
Okay, so all right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. March 27th.
My birthday.
Podcast.
Microphones.
Okay. Social media.
Instagram.
You're in the funk. What song? You're in the funk. You're not having a good day. What song are you playing to turn your day around?
Ooh. Something by Michael Jackson.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
All right. So what could I pull your black card for?
Oh, shucks. Let's see.
Like, for example, like you don't like cornbread.
Okay.
Something like that.
Wait, do you like cornbread?
I could get down with some cornbread. I'm trying to think. What could you put my black card for? Oh, this is crazy. Let me see. Because I wore Jordans, okay. Let me see. Baggy pants, T-shirts. You can pull my black card for not doing those Southern dances or swag surf. Like, in that era.
Wait, hold on.
Nah,
you won the contest to Dougie.
I did win a contest to Dougie. You're right.
Shout out to Joe Budden.
Oh, my God. You guys are good.
Shout out to Joe Budden.
You won the contest to Dougie.
I won a contest to Dougie, but I didn't swag surf. I never did the 5G. I never got light. Like, I never. I never did any of the dance hall dances. Like, I was like you could, if you would think that I was a white dude at a party sometimes because you'd be like, why are you not dancing? I don't know those dances.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, just vibe and feel the music.
Just vibe. Yeah. So Joe Budden told him to never do the Dougie again.
And what year was this?
It was 2011. It was April. Yeah. Joe Budden came to the school I was at, and he performed. And there was a Dougie contest before.
Yeah. And he was paying attention.
He was. I know, which is crazy because I'm thinking he's backstage like warming up or something.
Yeah.
But he was watching the Dougie contest. It was me and this other guy. I won, which was cool. But Joe Budden's being a hater of young men on the rise.
Yeah. Young black men specifically.
Yeah. When I went backstage, I was there I was trying to get a general snippet. Yeah, and he was like, he just remembered who I was. He was like, you did the Dougie. And I was like, yes, I did. Yeah. He was like, why do you do the Dougie?
And he asked you how old you were. I think you were 19 at the time, 18.
He's like, you got 2 more years to do the Dougie.
Yeah, and you haven't did it since, right?
Yeah, that was the end of it, And then he went on to the BET site for that same year. And he said, if you say I'm from the new school, I'll bust you in the mouth. If they condone in doing the Dougie, if they teach you how to Dougie, then I'm condoning dropping out.
Yeah.
And I thought everybody was like, yo, he dissed you. I was like, nah. You don't know me.
Yeah. That's funny. That's relatable.
I know we're about to kind of wrap it up here a little bit. So before we go, though, you posted a clip on your IG, which we then screen recorded, which we then posted on our social media.
Yeah.
So
I was going in.
Yeah, talk a little bit about your networking across instead of up.
It's just basically the idea that, like, I don't need to beg Charlemagne to be on The Breakfast Club. Y'all are asking me to be a part of this.
Right.
I the same way I would utilize that, like, utilize this. That's why I'm, bringing my stuff, recording, creating content. I'll go put the subtitles on it myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just the idea, like, I just see a lot of people begging for attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, you got 10 friends who are photographers.
Yep.
Go shoot with them.
Yep.
Why are you waiting for this guy to have availability? Like, work with the people in your network. Because I was told when I was really young, I was in this Tribeca Film Institute program, and they said circles rise together. You watch these comedy movies, right?
Yes.
And you see it's a lot of the same people. Rob Schneider, Adam Sandler, Vince Vaughn. Like, they got their own crew. They work with each other. You're going to do a movie? Okay, I'll be on it. Same thing with the podcast game. Joe Rogan and his boys. Yeah. It's like, yo, you're going to start a podcast? I'll be on your podcast. All right, I'm going to open one too. All right, I'll be on your podcast. Oh, I'm doing a comedy tour. Okay, I'll work with you. I'm doing a comedy tour. Okay, we're going on your comedy tour. It's like, let's help each other.
Yeah,
we help each other build our network, and we wind up blowing up. Instead of like begging for them to let us into their castle, it's like, let's build our own castle.
Right, and have them come ask us.
Yeah.
And then, that thing that you're referring to, like if Spike Lee does a video for Rihanna, they both get recognized because they're networking across.
Exactly.
Versus if you do a video for Rihanna, Rihanna gets recognized. Oh, you seen the new Rihanna video?
Exactly.
Not have you seen the new Rocko video?
Right. And that was a good point to end on, because it's true. It's like, okay, if DJ Mustard does something with like Lady Gaga, they both gonna get hot.
Sure.
But if you're a young producer and you do something with Lady Gaga, it's Lady Gaga's song.
Yeah.
And with that note, I'll speak on Solange's album.
Yeah.
Solange used one of my favorite artists, Abra, but Abra didn't get credit. Like, Abra is an up-and-coming alternative R&B singer, and Abra worked on Solange's new album, but they weren't necessarily credited, as what they did.
Right.
But it's like, if you were Beyonce or somebody, or Rihanna did a song with Solange, it's Rihanna and Solange. So it's just the idea that, like, I see a lot of people, they're getting taken advantage of by reaching, oh, please let us in, let me do your show. And it's like, yo, your friend has been doing a showcase for 2 years, and you never tried to
support them. Right.
Yeah, support them. And then your presence could probably bring something to what they're doing.
Right.
So I've just always been about that, because I just hate seeing people like drowning and dying trying to like reach out. And I'm not saying don't try to get outside of your circumstance, but like, yo, network across. Help the people that's next to you, and then they're gonna help you, and then before you know it, y'all gonna be at the top of the ladder.
Building together.
Because and if you continue to still stretch up and reach out, you're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna feel exhausted because damn, this person is not noticing me. Versus if you do it with your friends is nine times out of 10, your friends are down to do it.
Yeah,
your friends don't give. Your friends are like, hell yeah, let's do this
like
shit
if
together.
y'all reached out to Kevin Hart, he would have been like, I'll next year when I'm not busy.
Exactly.
But I'm like, yo, let's do it. You know what I mean? Now we got the content. I got another episode. You got the consistency going. So it's like, yes, do that. Like that's what I've always been about. So that's my mission.
Perfect.
Yeah.
End it.
All right, cool. So again, Rocko, we appreciate you spending your birthday with us, your 27th birthday on the 27th. Oh shit,
golden year,
golden year, baby.
It is.
As always, guys, follow us on IG. Follow me on IG at art_G,
and follow me on IG at Corey Hilton 1.
Yep, and if you need to send us your general top 5, if you need to send us your top 5 your general feedback on the show, email us at mosteverythingpodcast@gmail.com or slide in our DMs for business purposes only. Rocko, what's your socials?
At Rocko_Supreme. That's ROCKO_Supreme. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm on Instagram right now.
Yep.
But we are moving to YouTube soon.
Hey.
Mostly everything podcast exclusive.
Hey. Boom. We appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for coming through. Shout out to Miles, our engineer. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Man. Thank you.
All right, that's it. See you guys next week, episode 51. Peace.